All right, sup, Tony? So let's go over this for a second. So a precision swing point, that's just what a PSP is. And basically, T trades in its simplest form is just trying T trades and GxT, but GxT Garrett he uses more SMT and like filtered logic. T trade is kind of just the easier version, but it's all about guessing, predicting the swing point. So let's say we're in a bearish fair value gap here, and we're trying to use the synchronized time frame. So 4 hour with a 15 minute, right? So if I'm trying to predict daily move, I'm looking at 4 hour candle, and this 4 hour candle opens, taps into the fair value gap or whatever PD array it is. And since well, it depends. That's for a different scenario. But we close bearish. The next asset comes in, still uses this as some sort of resistance to the downside, but we close bullish. And that's pretty much a PSP. It's like a SMT, but just an SMT that is not about swinging or sweeping highs. So that's what it would look like, right? You have two assets: silver, gold, oil, crude oil, and whatever it's the other one's called. Yeah, just the other oil asset. There's these three oil assets. You have silver, you have gold, and your indices. And so you look for that PSP to form. That's what your PSP is. And then for a two-stage SMT, it's pretty technical, but it really is for high probability entries. So as you can see here, you have two assets. Your first asset creates a low, and then it creates a higher low, and it fails to take out this previous low, and this asset takes the low. That's a simple SMT. That's your first stage of SMT. This is your first stage of SMT. And then we're looking for the continuation, right? And this can be on a different time frame, right? This first move could all be on one time frame, and we could see the second SMT form on a different time frame. But what we want to see, we don't want to see this type of SMT where a price sweeps the low again. We want to see a strength switch. So we get the asset that failed to sweep the low here now comes down and sweeps the low, while this asset fails to sweep the low. This is really high probability entry, and when you tag it along with PSPs, that's like your best setup. That's pretty much only what Garrett trades. I had a couple of examples from Garrett's videos, so let's just go over it a little. So this is that first two-stage PSP. Bro, what the freak? So this is your initial PSP. And this is just when you have your candle 1 form right here. Your candle 1 forms. Candle 2 opens, sweeps the high, and closes bullish. Asset 2, candle 1 sets its range. Candle 2 doesn't sweep the high and closes bearish. Well, first of all, you can assume why this candle closes bullish and why this candle closes bearish. You can see the logic behind it. Because this asset opened and was able to trade above the previous candle's high, therefore it's relatively further away from the open price, so there's less time for it to come back down and close bearish. So it closes bullish. This asset, conversely, it fails to sweep the high, so it's closer relatively to its open price. Therefore, the move down to create this bearish candle is smaller and more likely. And when we see this form with an SMT, we can be almost guaranteed that we can short to, obviously, the previous candle's low, but external liquidity targets. Then this is what the trade I took earlier was pretty much based on, and this is a continuation. So this is guessing a swing point. So this is trying to catch that reversal. You have a fair value gap right here in some sort of range, and you're trying to catch a reversal. This is when you're already chasing a liquidity target. So that's kind of what tomorrow will be like, but tomorrow I just want to see our liquidity ran. But as you can see, asset 1, we set a bullish candle right here, and we set a bearish candle right here. I was trying to look for some SMT, but this doesn't have SMT, right? We don't need SMT because we don't need any retracements. We're trying to see price trade lower, continuation lower. And this candle 3 opens up, takes out the previous candle's high, displaces lower. This candle opens up. We still have that fair value gap right here. We do not take out the high, and we displace lower. What do you notice? It's SMT fill. SMT fill is when you get a fair value gap. So imagine there's a fair value gap right here. It's simply this asset trades into the fair value gap, displaces lower. This asset doesn't trade into the fair value gap and displaces lower. So that's your SMT pretty much. Now let me go show you what it looked like on the chart today. Get all this shit off my chart. I think there was like 2 examples also down here I saved. Let's see. Okay, I guess not. That's fine. We'll go over just what I saw today. So the idea was going into the day, as you can see with these daily candles, I mean not the daily candle, with these hourly candles on the daily chart, we open up and we were displacing lower. Remember I was talking about that last night? And look what happens. This is Friday's low right here. Friday's low on both of the charts. We see that overnight, this is during London session right here. Overnight, we do not sweep this low. So we have SMT right here. And that's obviously an indicator to go higher. This type of SMT. Sorry, 1 second. So we have our SMT, and I'm already looking for some sort of longs back to this range because I'm not bearish on price action. So I know that price shouldn't really be coming down here to sweep these lows. I want to see higher prices, especially with the hourly equal highs, and ES is already trading all-time highs, YM too, but NQ is kind of lagging. So as we see this, you can kind of assume that it might be a reversal candle, or like where price has a huge wick to the downside, but we come back up and close in the range so we can see the next day expand to the target, which is kind of what I would assume for tomorrow to do. It wouldn't make sense in my idea for price to trade lower. So we get that initial SMT right here. And what do you notice with YM right here? Where this mark is, well, if we hop on the hourly chart, we have a PSP right here. So this 8 a.m. candle is bearish on NQ, and this 8 a.m. candle is bullish on YM. So just based off of that, you can already slightly be bullish. Then tag it along with ES is running the low, YM is running the low, ES is failing to, or NQ is failing to run this low right here. So we have SMT right there. Now, that's not only my conviction, but it was also I wanted to see some sort of change state delivery to use as support. And then that's what we get right here. We get our change in state delivery. So going into the morning, as I'm looking around that 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, I think it was around 8 I was looking. I didn't take a trade because in my head I was pretty pessimistic about this move down here. And I didn't really want to risk it based on this candle. I mean, going back, something I could definitely improve on because it was a good trade. So watch this. I'm not going to go on to ES or NQ anymore because let's say, or I'm going to go on ES, but not YM because I already have my PSP established. So we're going to hop down onto a slightly lower time frame. I like 30-minute paired along with a 3-minute. That's just done me well. And when you go into it, we have a clean singular fair value gap right here. I got to turn my magnets on. So we have this clean singular fair value gap right here, and then paired along with ES's fair value gap right here. Now, just obviously, what do you notice? I'll give you like 20 seconds. From, I literally just taught this earlier, but it's PSP. I mean, sorry, it's SMT fill. We have an SMT fill form right here. The 9 a.m. candle fails to take out the 7:30 candle's low. You could view it as just SMT. That's all it is. But in this asset, or in this particular example, or the way we view it is it's a retracement to a fair value gap. and we failed to retrace into the fair value gap. While ES on the other hand, NQ on the other hand over here, we deeply retraced into this fair value gap, and we took out that 7:30 a.m. candle's low. So that's our SMT fill. And so you can either enter during this candle, which you would be most optimal to enter in somewhere right around here, because you're not clueless as price is coming down below here. You should already see this. You should know that price failed to sweep this low on NQ. We have the PSP. You should know that. I mean, you don't know PSP, but I'm saying, like, specifically for me, I mean, you'll know it eventually. I'll put you on the videos to watch. I just want to slowly put you into it so it's not all overwhelming. But we have the change in state deliveries. So during change in state deliveries, what do? We retrace into them to fill more orders before we continue expanding. When we go into what continue expanding, well, we want to see SMT on the low time frame too. So that's right here. And when it goes into entries, this is going to be purely just like what I would have done. But during the actual market open, I was watching this because this was our change in state delivery, right? We sweep the low. Where's ES? ES fails to sweep the low. Right? We don't sweep this low within this fair value gap. We have SMT, that SMT fill with PSP, and price just expands on further to market open. And so I didn't really find a trade after that, because the only other trade you would have tried to catch a continuation. And, well, let's see. 10:06. Both of these assets swept the lows. You could have obviously found something not using SMT, just simply using sweeps within a continuation, right? We have a fair value gap right here. You finding support, and then use a change in state delivery to enter your position right here. You know, targeting something like this, running that initial. This would have been a really good trade, just targeting the true day open, as you can see, which is that candle. My stupid thing. Right, you would only be targeting that, and you would put your stop loss kind of below the candle that really made the expansion. So it looks something like that. Now, I want to go into what I'm doing right now for my trade, because I'm in a trade right now, but I only want to catch the full daily expansion. I really don't care about anything else. So if you see here on the hourly chart, well, first go on the daily, because that'll help explain it more. So if you look on the daily, yes, we have SMT, but I'm viewing this more as NQ is going to catch up. Because look, this would be the SMT that we're facing right now. And I don't see that as holding. I would see this more as something where price is going to catch up to that, right? NQ is simply delayed. YM is also past the highs. As you can see, YM is way past these highs. So let's see NQ catch up is my idea. Right, as you were saying, we have these relative equal highs right here, or these are literally equal highs. And then we also have this daily fair value gap that I'd want to see mitigated. Just tapped into. So if I want to see today be a big expansion day, because what would be the point of this reversal candle, of this huge reversal candle, if we're not going to expand? There's no point, right? There's no point in this daily candle having SMT with ES, SMT with YM2, and not expanding to its full target here. Yes, ES YM may be decoupled tomorrow. They may not have that full expansion because it doesn't have the liquidity target as NQ does. These are our liquidity targets. Well, if I want to see today expand, the wick needs to be small. I need to see the wick form in the premium of this range. the wick needs to form in the premium of this range and then give enough time for it to displace through. So that's why I'm entering in all the way down there. And what that looks like is something. So I want to see, obviously, just continuous expansion. Yeah, so we have SMT fill on this with YM, as you can see, YM on this 1 p.m. candle, or not even 1 p.m. With this is our 9:30 a.m. candle, and price is so far away from this 9:30 a.m. candle relative to here that, yeah, it's a good SMT fill. Obviously, this might not work. It's not one of those trades where I'm insanely high conviction. As you can see, I got a pretty good entry, and we're just kind of holding through. So we'll see. So yeah.